welcome to a new episode of the Jazz Zodiac Podcast, the greatest wrestling podcast you've never heard of. This is the podcast that has no alpha males on it and has taken out the trash. If you know, you know. Again, we are going in a different direction with this show. We will not be talking about news every week. We will be talking about PLEs and pay-per-views. So with that being said, we originally were going to watch the Bash at the Beach in 1996 for WCW Wrestling, but
it's no available nowhere.
We can't find it anywhere on YouTube. It is not to be found.
I have it on VHS.
That's a lot of good that does us.
Does that
help
at all, having it on VHS?
No, it doesn't help. I don't have a VHS player. But because we'll be talking about on Friday on a different podcast about the King of the Ring 2001, I figured, why not? Let's talk about King of the Ring 2001 and dive a little bit deeper into that show. But before we do that, with me as always, the Repeat Movie Viewer, the Psycho Nerd Podcast, all that fun shit that he does. Of course, it's the Psycho Nerd. Hold on. Ooh.
That's weak. Come on. The crickets have more feeling in them.
Yeah, you're probably right. But again, we were talking about the King of the Ring, which went down in June 24th, 2001, here towards the tail end of the Attitude Era. We are literally on the cusp of the Invasion storyline that's coming. Shane has already bought WCW a couple months prior. The King of the Ring this year took place in East Rutherford, New Jersey at the Continental Airlines Arena with an attendance of 17,777. A lot of sevens in there. The buy rate was 445,000. For those that don't know what I mean by the buy rate, that is the pay-per-view buys. This many people bought the pay-per-view. And the tagline for this particular show was, "My muscles ache, my mind is spent, my body is broken, lead me to my throne." Now, before we go into the matches or the card for the show, I want to go over the brackets that got us to where we are. And these were the qualifiers. Now, for those of you that do not know, way before the recent King of the Ring format, which, by the way, we've talked about this before, but they need to bring back the PLE or the pay-per-view King of the Ring. They need to bring it back.
I wish they would. I really do.
And they need to have single qualifier matches on television leading up to King of the Ring, not these fatal four-ways that lead in. It's almost like they're rushing it. You know what I mean?
It's exactly stupid. What they're doing.
That being said, the TV qualifying matches were Kurt Angle versus Hardcore Holly, Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy, Christian versus Kane, Big Show versus Raven, Edge versus Test, Steve Blackman versus Perry Saturn, Crash Holly versus Tajiri, and Rhino versus Taz. And with that being said, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, Christian, Big Show, Edge, Perry Saturn, Tajiri, and Rhino advanced. So we go to the quarterfinals, which is also on television. We had Kurt Angle versus Hardy. Obviously, Kurt Angle won. Christian versus Big Show. Christian won that one. Edge versus Perry Saturn. Edge went over. And of course, Rhino went over Tajiri. And looking at these matches, they were the quickest match is Big Show versus Raven at 1:37. Quick match. I wouldn't even call it a squash match. It's more of a glorified squash match.
Yeah.
But we begin the show, Kurt Angle versus Christian. Thoughts about this match?
Don't forget about DDP taking control of the ring for a minute. Because there was a big angle going on at the time where there was somebody stalking Undertaker's wife, Sarah, who had only recently been shown on TV. I think this was her introduction, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah, I think it was.
And we find out that DDP was the stalker. So he comes out at the beginning of the show, calls out Taker. He's going to be sitting front row throughout the entire show. Please, Taker, make me famous.
Oh, and he did.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. But
definitely some mind games that were going on. But again, we talk about the first semifinal match. It's Kurt Angle versus Christian. This is right after Christian and Edge broke away from the Brood. They were doing their own. Actually, no, they were still kind of a tag team at the time, but they were kind of slowly starting to break apart and do their own thing.
Well, yeah, this is fresh off their win at TLC 2 at WrestleMania 17. So this is like literally right after that. So yeah, at this point, Edge is starting to kind of move more towards being like a single competitor, and Christian is just starting to become that annoying little shit that just can't let go, essentially.
Yep.
So.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the sub story to this is that Shane McMahon is fucking with Kurt Angle quite a bit. As a matter of fact, he had 2, potentially 3 matches on this show. He has the semifinals, and if he made it to the finals for the King of the Ring, but he also had a street fight against Shane McMahon. We will get into that later because that match was fucking brutal. But this is the before he went bald Kurt Angle. This is a different Kurt Angle. I've always thought that Kurt Angle became more dangerous when he shaved his head. He just became more of a psychopath, 100%.
He looked more menacing without all the hair. He really did.
This is the Kurt Angle that when Stone Cold was the sheriff and he gave Kurt Angle a cowboy hat, it was his little bitty, Woody from Toy Story hat, and he embraced it. Kurt Angle, God bless him, he was such a goofy character, but he fucking made it, he made it believable that he was just this goofy guy that didn't know that he was being fucked with the entire time. This is the same dude that drove a fucking milk truck to the ring, not to outdo Stone Cold Steve Austin, doused the ring in milk, and then grabbed 2 cartons of milk, clean them together, and then fucking down it. I mean, it's wholesome.
This show right here, that hasn't happened yet. If I remember correctly, that happened.
No, it happened later. It happened later. And the I suck chance had not started yet, or you suck chance had not started yet.
That's true. Edge hasn't said it yet. So
yeah,
it was actually refreshing and a little weird at the same time.
Yeah, it was just weird seeing him with hair. It was just weird because coming up the year 2000, he had his debut. He won the Intercontinental, the European, and the Heavyweight Championship all in 1 year, and he won King of the Ring.
Yep,
he had one of the most memorable rookie seasons for any WWE superstar that I can ever think of.
That's a banger year in my book, for sure.
Oh, 100%. And this is a guy who knew nothing about professional wrestling and took to it like a duck to water, just went crazy. But I digress. Kurt Angle versus Christian. Your thoughts on this match?
A good start. Good start. It started out really fast paced, both men going after each other. It kept on exchanging control of the match. It kept going kind of back and forth. Surprisingly, nobody was really gaining an advantage early on during the match. There was a brawl on the outside for a bit. At one point, Christian actually got pushed off the top of the post onto the floor. Yeah. I hate watching bumps like that because I'm just thinking, man, that's got to be murder to your ankles. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, big time.
But then finally, Angle does actually take control for a bit, slowing the pace down, more methodical type stuff. He's got Christian on the mat, putting him in submission holds and whatnot. But then the big equalizer happens. Shane comes out, distracts Angle, giving Christian an advantage, so seemingly giving him an advantage. But then he turns right around and Shane screws Christian out of the match. Now, you're probably thinking, why would he do that if he's with Angle? But there's intelligence involved here. One of the
false
three
hope.
eyes
False hope,
put
my
into
friends.
Play.
Yep, false hope. Yep.
Bravo. Good start to the show, dude. For real. I forgot how good things were back then compared to how they are now.
Oh, yeah. And again, there's more story back then versus the wrestling. The wrestling has gotten better, but the story has gotten kind of stale. And we've talked about this on the Wrestling Rewind podcast. The link to that show is down below in the description. Is that in this era, we had great story. Wrestling was okay. It was average. Fast forward to now, the wrestling is phenomenal, but the story it's there. You know what I mean? It's there. And that's a WWE, and they're still calling it WWF at this point too. They had not had the lawsuit yet.
Did you catch that on Netflix? They have the captioning says WWE, but they're not blurring out the F at all, and it's not being blurred out whatsoever.
I'm okay with that.
I love that. That makes sense the way
it
it should be viewed, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
And at this point in the show, the way I remembered it is that after they bought WCW, this is like right after it, that the quality of the show slowly started to kind of dwindle once we got to the Ruthless Aggression era. But it took a little while for that fire to really fizzle out for WrestleMania 17 in my book.
It's because there was no competition anymore. That's why.
That's exactly what it was. They stopped trying so hard anymore.
Yeah,
after the invasion, things just changed after that.
And I think that's part of the problem too with the AEW WWE thing is that AEW took a page from Ted Turner and went, we're not doing this. We're not going to go head to head with WWE again. We're going to do our own thing. And there are even times when if there's a PLE on a Saturday, they'll have it before or after the show is over, or they'll do it on Sunday.
See,
Smart.
And that's the way it should be. You're giving the fans the opportunity to choose what they want to watch instead of forcing them to make a choice. It's
100%
one or the other versus, I'm going to watch both of them because I want to see them both.
There you go. It benefits everybody. And it's you could be a fan of one or the other or both. There's no law saying that if you're a fan of wrestling, you're going to like what you like. And I'm slowly dipping my toes in the AEW pool and I'm liking what I see. So I'm going to keep watching until they give me a reason not to watch.
They are kind of the more exciting show if you really get
the pay-per-views. Oh my fucking God. They are amazing.
No pun intended, but they go all out for their fucking pay-per-views. The ones that no pun intended, but
they go all in. Bad pun.
But this is a great start to the show in my books.
And Kurt Angle wins, and they talk about, could he go back-to-back years as King of the Ring? They tease it, and you're thinking, maybe he can.
Maybe
we get this.
He could.
This is definitely a 5-star match. It was great. It was a great match. Mm-hmm. The interference was well-timed. It wasn't blatant. It wasn't, you know what I mean? And even Christian's like, the fuck you doing, man? But he's a big man. He's got a plan up his sleeve. He knows what he's doing.
Of course he does.
We move on to the second semi. We have Edge versus Rhino. And we didn't talk about this, and I want to bring this up. This is after the exit of Jerry the King Lawler for a bit. We had Jim Ross, and I'm sorry, Paul Heyman on commentary is fucking beautiful.
I love him.
Paul Heyman can do everything, and he can manage. He can fucking do commentary. He can interview. He's the CM Punk of commentary. You know what I mean? He can do it all. You know what I mean? And
you're the man, Paul. You're the man.
You have the baby face in JR, and then you have just this douchebag that is Paul Heyman. And this is coming fresh off of buying ECW, of course, WCW as well. So he's just and it is what it is. Neither here or there. They would bring back ECW, and it just wasn't the same, obviously.
No, not even close, man.
Not even close. But I digress. Edge versus Rhino. Of course, Paul Heyman is sucking Rhino's cock the entire time because he's an ECW alum. Like, it's going to be the spear versus the gore, and the gore will always come out on top. And gore. This another banger of a match.
Yeah, I agree. Thoughts? And it's an interesting start with Rhino just straight up spitting in Edge's face. That's a nice way to let somebody know you love him. Just saying.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I like you, Tua.
And, just like the previous match, it felt like neither guy was really keeping control for very long. It was a very back and forth. Whether it was going on inside the ring or on the outside, it really didn't matter. It was just going back and forth. Finally, at one point, Rhino does gain control. He pulls off, what was it? It was like he pulls off the middle turnbuckle, and he actually throws Edge into it. Yeah. But what I find funny about this is that, he does that to try to gain the advantage and win, but it would come back to bite him in the ass by the time we get to the match at the end, which I thought was clever.
Does. Yep.
But no, this was a very good another fast-paced match. It was a lot of fun to check out. A lot of interesting bumps along the way. And again, the storytelling going on here where Christian comes out, right? Or wait, Christian doesn't come out during this match, does he?
No, I don't think he did.
You know what? I'm thinking of the other match. My bad. But anyway, at one point, Rhino goes into the corner, accidentally trying to spear Edge, and ends up spearing the freaking metal ring. Gets the execution from I don't know if they were still calling it that.
They were.
That time.
They were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gives him the execution, gets the 1, 2, 3. Lovely finish, and Edge is showing a little sign of holding his ribs the whole time. So nice way, again, going back to the storytelling, nice way to show that he's going to go into the final match not 100%.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and going against Kurt Angle, who at this point we already know is going to have 2 more matches for the rest of the show. Which I'm gonna come out and say it right now, man. Kurt Angle, mad respect for him, but he is like the MVP of the show, having to go
agreed. 100%.
3 matches. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And as brutal as that match was.
And so, didn't Rhino and Edge kind of gore and spear each other at the same time in one moment where they kind of ran into each other?
That is true. It reminded me of Rocksteady and Bebop in the Ultra T2 game way back when they would try to smush you together and they would just boom, which is from the TV show, coincidentally. But
I guess the mutation didn't up their IQ any.
Exactly. But yes, they do both go for the gore or the spear versus the gore, and they just kind of collide with each other almost head first, and they're both down for a period of time. That was probably the best bump in the show or the match, I should say. Now
moving on, we had Spike Dudley, who has a falling out with the Dudleys, who are current tag team champion right now. And Spike is like, I'm going to take you guys on. He's there with Molly Holly. I kept wanting to say Mighty Molly, but I know that wasn't right.
Not quite.
But and then they're like, well, who's your partner going to be? Who's your partner? Oh, I got a partner. Don't worry about it. And so the Dudleys come out there and they just start running their mouth, talking shit, doing what they do. And then fucking they go out to the ring, like, who's your opponent? Who's the opponent? And Spike comes out like normal. Actually, no, his fucking partner came out before he did. You hear brimstone and the fire, and it's gotta be Kane comes out first. And you hear JR go, oh my.
Yep.
We're going to see a bloodbath. And did we? Oh my.
This was a fun match for what was trying to make it seemingly an impromptu match. It was also a banger. It was a pretty damn good tag team match as far as I'm concerned.
And for those that have not watched this particular show before, if you want a real life representation of how tall Spike Dudley is, there it is right there. That's how tall he is. It's not John. You know what? Y'all can't see anything. Okay, hang on. Let's try this. There we go. He's about that tall.
For God's, how dare you do that to Optimus Prime, sir? He deserves your respect.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Anyway, yeah, again, another banger of a match. You know, these four guys just beating the hell out of each other. And, you know, you got to give props to fucking Spike because he's the smallest dude in the ring. He's taking most of the punishment, but yet he is such a badass. And, of course, he's got, you know, Molly Holly on his arm. I mean, see no fault in that, you know. I'm putting the title belts back on him because, you know, he's a double champion. You know?
Well, of course.
All you saw were the belts. I'm sorry. Again, I apologize.
I actually saw nothing at all, not even the belts. So,
how dare.
But, yeah, this goes to show that the tag team division was on fire back in the day. They actually did.
No pun intended, of course. No pun intended from Kane.
No, none at all. I do love how Bubba Ray at one point throws Spike into Kane, but then Kane holds him up and throws him right back at him. You know, I thought that was freaking funny. Or, I mean, honestly, for the majority of the match, for a good portion, the Dudley Boys do a good job of keeping Spike isolated from Kane. So they just kind of beat on him for a good while. But I couldn't help but notice there were a couple of moments along the way where Spike like gains control for like a split second. It's like, dude, tag. He's right there. What the fuck are you? I that's one thing about wrestling that I've always wondered. Like, you've got it. He's right there. Just run over there and tag him. But I get it. You know, it's all for the story. I get it. But Kane does eventually get the tag. He starts beating on the Dudleys single-handedly. He pretty much just takes them on all by himself while Spike's getting a little breather over on the corner. But then going back to what I was saying before, Kane actually throws Spike completely over the top rope onto the Dudleys who are on the outside. That was beautiful. He got some mad air with that shit.
Yeah, he did.
So, but unfortunately, all the efforts were, you know, they were a good attempt. They were a good attempt. I will give Spike a lot of credit. But at the end of the day, he gets the 3D from the Dudleys. 1, 2, 3. Great finish to the match, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, this is 3 bangers in a row. This doesn't happen anymore these days. I'm sorry to say.
And for those of y'all keeping count, it's called the 3D, not the day one-ish from the Usos.
Yeah. Exactly.
Stole that move. Yeah, another great match. I'm sorry, and this was an impromptu match. This was thrown together. You know, Spike wants to take on the champions, and we didn't touch on this, but at the time, Kane was the Intercontinental Champion.
I know. I always forget that he had it for a brief spell.
And it was the Attitude Era Oval belt versus the one that we would get later when Cody would bring it back much later.
Exactly.
Now I don't remember, was the situation with Undertaker and DDP before the King of the Ring final, or was it after? I forget.
Well, that came later. That's fine. The next match was actually Kurt Angle and Edge in the final of the King of the Ring tournament. That was the next match after that.
The man who will become King of the Ring, will it be 2-time or be back-to-back for Kurt Angle, or will it be the first time in the first wrinkle in a historic career for Edge before he was the rated R superstar?
Well, I have to give Angle credit doing what he does. He comes out with the microphone after Edge comes out, still holding his ribs. So he basically just says that, you know, I know we're still friends. Everything's cool, blah, 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 blah. You need to just take the high road and just let me have the win here because I have another match. So you need to just go away and let me have the win. In so many words, I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he's telling him. Let me have the win, piss off, and then I have to do my other match later. So but of course we know that's not going to
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
And again, another banger of a match. These two men just going crazy with each other.
They do. And there's so many good spots. I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I can't sit here and write down every good spot. There's so damn many of them. But I at least try to keep it down to a few different ones. And I got to admit, the belly-to-belly overhead suplex over the top rope during the beginning of the match.
Jesus.
I'm always scared when I see shit like that. I'm always afraid that one of them is going to hit their head on the damn apron or something.
Yep.
No, but thankfully that does not happen.
Oh, yeah. Thank God.
And you know what? And I always tend to forget that before Brock Lesnar showed up, Kurt Angle was real big on doing a lot of different suplexes to his opponents.
Yep.
So he does a lot of suplexes in this match, a lot of. At one point, Edge is actually he gets a little resilient throughout the match, but Angle kind of keeps him on the mat, keeps things going in a very catch-as-catch-can style. But very exciting back and forth throughout this match. There's a lot of that going on in the show.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And I appreciate the absolute fucking hell out of it. Like, I have nothing but good things. Well, almost. There's only one match blemish on the card, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But otherwise, the match goes on for a decent while. Christian comes out and jumps on the apron and almost costs Edge the match. And he apologizes later, telling him, "Oh, well, I was just out there to help him." It's like, why else would you be out there if it wasn't to help me? But yeah, obviously Christian was trying to screw him, even though he tried to play it off.
I know what it was. Christian was looking for his peeps. That's what it was.
I guess so. He got lost, I guess. But then Shane comes out and actually nails Angle and gives Edge the opportunity for the win to become the 2001 King of the Ring winner. And we all know how his career went after this.
It went straight down the shitter. It never heard from again. No.
If you call multiple champion and getting to have sex with Lita exactly what you just said, then okay, sure. But no, his career definitely took off over the course of time. So following the typical formula that if you win the King of the Ring, typically your career goes sky high. Let's just leave Billy Gunn out of that equation because that didn't work out for him, unfortunately.
No.
We get a brief little moment of him at WWF New York, and he's like, "How do you think I feel? I won the damn thing a couple of years ago, and I'm not even at the arena. This is bullcrap." I'm like, nice touch there, guy. Nice touch.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So 4 matches in a row, dude. 4 in a row.
5. 5.
Was it 5?
This is 5.
5 now? Are you sure?
5. Oh, 4. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Matt and Just Incredible match. I apologize. That was the
4.
The Sunday Night Heat match, which deserved to be on that show, not on the main card.
I didn't even look. I didn't bother to look that up.
I'm looking at the match card right now.
Oops.
So yep, Edge is your King of the Ring 2001. Again, another stepping. And people tend to forget that with the King of the Ring being a catapult to a huge career, that what would have been had the curtain call not happened in Madison Square Garden, because it was supposed to be Triple H winning the King of the Ring that year. And with the curtain call, Hall and Nash were leaving the WCW, so they couldn't be punished. Shawn was the champion. They weren't going to touch him. Triple H is the one that got the shit end of the stick. And they said, yeah, we're going to let Stone Cold be the winner this year. And you can't help but wonder how different the world would be if Triple H had not done the curtain call or not gotten punished and Stone Cold not had that moment. Because that Austin 316 says I whooped your ass moment is iconic. I'm sorry. To me, that's the beginning of the Attitude Era, is that moment right there. To me.
That would be hard for me to argue, honestly.
Yeah, and again, I am not a Stone Cold fan by any means, but I respect. And for the man to do what he did, beat Jake the Snake, the whole Jake the Snake was doing the whole Bible thumping that he did. You go around saying your Psalms, John 3:16, Austin 3:16 says, I just whooped your ass. And he improv that. That was on the fly. It was not written down.
No.
And it's the expression that sold 1 million t-shirts because people still buy them and wear them today.
And you know what? You can thank Michael Hayes for that, because he's the one that told him about Jake the Snake's promo previously. Like, oh yeah, he just did a religious promo, just so you know, just some food for thought. So it makes me wonder how long he let that swim around his head, or if it was just like spur of the fucking moment. But either way, I agree.
Not just that, but Michael Hayes' reaction when he says, I just whooped your ass, he was like the reaction was genuine. And the next night, people had Austin 3:16 signs. The shirts were out not long after that. And this is another reason why they need to bring back the original format, the King of the Ring. because the way we have it, the people we have in there now, they are people who have already been established. You look at this, just this year, you look at this, you've got Kurt Angle, who was still kind of new. He had a great rookie year. You've got Hardcore Holly, mid-Carter at best. You've got the Hardy Boys. Both would be in the main event scene down the road. You
Jeff
got
Hardy
Christian
would
and
win the title down the road too. So there you go.
Yeah, you got Christian and Kane, who again would be main eventers in their own right, not just here, but also in AEW. That's for Edge as well. Big Show and Raven. Raven, again, more of a mid-card guy. He never really got the push he deserved.
No, he didn't.
Edge and Test, I don't really feel like they pushed him proper, but it is what it is. You got the only two, the two mid-carders, you got Blackman and Perry Saturn. Sorry, Perry Saturn, but you just were not the mold they were looking for. And again, Crash Holly,
him right either.
Tajiri and Crash Holly again, and then Rhino and Taz. Taz, they fumbled big time.
They did. They
fumbled him big time to the point where they had to put him on commentary just to keep him on the fucking on the payroll.
Dude, he had a match at WrestleMania. He's already doing interviews in this show.
Yep,
he's already been
100%.
downgraded. He's only been there a couple of years, not even a couple of years already yet.
But my point that I'm making here is that a lot of these guys on here, they have not really been established yet. They're still mid-carders working their way up to the top. This one, we have Oba Femi, we've got Dominic Mysterio, we've got CM Punk, Finn Balor. I'm like, put some of the mid-card guys in there, even put some of the NXT guys in there just to make it interesting. This tournament is supposed to be to give somebody the push. The same with the Rumble. The same with the Money in the Bank. They're all chances for somebody who hasn't had a title to have a title and to see what they can do with it. And they are not, they have not done that. I think Naomi was the one I was okay with because she made that heel turn and made that cash in more fun. But again, I'm ranting about King of the Ring. I'm hoping it's better than it has been in the past. And I hope that whoever wins on the male and the female side, that they actually go forward with the actual gimmick of them being royalty, especially if Chelsea Green wins. If Chelsea Green wins, oh my God, make her queen of the world. It'll sell t-shirts. It'll sell t-shirts to put asses in the seats.
Well, some of them have actually done it over the years, and we talked about it before on the channel. It's more fun when somebody takes that King of the Ring moniker and just runs with it the whole fucking year, because it's just, some of them turn it into a form of arrogance, like, it's 8-10 months later, I'm the King of the Ring. It's like, okay, it's been almost a year, get over it. What have you done since? But I love how they do that sometimes. But yes, I wish
there should be a coronation. They used to do a coronation where they were crowned. They had the crown, they had the cape, and they had the baton, and I'm the king, I'm the queen, whatever. But we can sit here and argue about that all fucking day. Let's move on to a match that I didn't think was much of a banger of a match. Fun fact, the Edge versus Rhino match and the Edge versus Kurt Angle match were both 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Just
that's funny.
Little food for thought there. We have, moving on, we have for the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship, a championship that time has forgotten. Much like the European title, it has been lost in the archives. And we have our champion, Jeff Hardy, taking on X-Pac, who is not wearing any DX garb at this point. He is just on his own, doing his own thing, slowly going to be disappearing off of television here pretty soon, because without DX and without NWO, when he was 6-Pac, he was better in a group, not by himself. I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
No,
or he's the 1, 2, 3 kid. Or he's the 1, 2, 3 kid. Yeah.
Totally the truth, because he never learned how to mold and change with the times. He was doing the same thing in 1996 when he was with the NWO, and here we are 5 years later. He's doing the exact same thing, the same look, same hair, same attitudes. He never evolved himself.
Nope.
Look at The Undertaker. He changes the way he looks. Period. If you watch him from 1 year and 2 years, like a year later, he looks different. Every single time you see him from a period of time, it's different. Chris Jericho is a great example as well. Always kind of altering the way he looks over the course of time. But X-Pac, he never did that. So he
never evolved
into obscurity after a while.
He never evolved, and it's sad because he's a great talent. Just although if you talk about the really fucked up things he did with China,
he did her wrong in so many ways.
Well, WWE in general did her wrong, but X-Pac really, really fucked her over, and that's no pun intended. This was a match that was like, it was okay. It was okay.
It wasn't terrible, but
mid card, but it is what it is. What are your thoughts on this match?
I mean, after 4 banger matches in a row before this, I mean, this match was at best. I'm not saying it was a terrible match, but it just didn't live up to anything else we'd seen previously. I mean, there was a crazy looking botch at one point with Jeff Hardy in the corner that stood out. And I thought it was a nice job of the ref actually noticing Jeff's leg on the ropes. He counts 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit, his foot's on the rope. Hey, oh, no, that doesn't count. It's like, why don't we see more of that?
We don't.
That never happened. We never see that.
No, we don't.
So that's a goddamn shame that's the one time that actually happens. But then other times where it's like, really, guys, you're going to end it like that? That's how you're going to, okay, fine, whatever. The hell with it.
And to be fair, the light heavyweight looks like it was bought at Walmart. It looks like one of those fake little belts. It doesn't, and it slowly just disappeared after a while. It just kind of went away. Just faded away. It got snapped and dusted out of existence.
If you really get down to it, from my memory, I don't even remember that title being very prominent during the Attitude Era. It existed, but I don't remember too many matches off the top of my head outside of the one at WrestleMania and now this one that they had too many other like big rivalries that centered around this title. It was just kind of there to be like their version of the Cruiserweight title, but it just didn't really take off all that much. From
the Hardcore title had more storyline than this one did, and that was a broken winged eagle that they gave to freaking Mankind as a joke, and he ran with it.
Oh, you sure still did.
That shit's hilarious.
So my final word on this match, I mean, it's not a bad match. It's just an average run-of-the-mill type of match. Nothing really overly exciting going on. Both guys are getting they're signing their P's and Q's. They're doing what they usually do in every match. No big deal. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's just not up to par with all the other bangers. That's it.
Now, did the Undertaker thing happen before this Street Fight, or was it before the main event?
Okay. It happens right around here. We see Steve Austin in the back looking for Vince McMahon. He spends the whole show trying to find him, trying to get a hold of him for what he wants him to be there during his match, but whatever. But then DDP finally gets sick and tired of watching the things on the Titantron, because apparently after he got a seat, we start seeing these little bits of footage where apparently somebody has been stalking him this whole time, just like what he did with Sarah, and he gets more agitated, like, this is not cool, you're invading my privacy, not in so many words, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, okay, that's funny how that works, how it gets turned on you and you're immediately upset by it, but it's like, whatever. But then finally he gets in the ring, calls out Undertaker, get your ass out here, and what perceives is, well, we find out Sarah's the one that's been holding the camera, watching DDP throughout the entire time. Taker comes out, puts on his gloves, takes a sweet ass time, and basically it is just a mostly 95% one-sided beating with Taker just kicking the crap out of DDP, and it's just like, is this what we were building up to the whole time? Like, what was the point of all this? This rivalry is pretty much dead in the water at this point after this squash fight. He gets like 2 hits off Taker, and that's it. I don't understand what the grand scheme was in all this.
They could have easily had where Taker didn't show up until Monday night, which was going to be in Madison Square Garden on Raw, and that could have happened there. But
they could have
done what it is, and that's the thing about DDP. He was there towards the end of the WCW run. He was just the king of the mountain, winning the title and everything. When he went to WWE or WWF, and didn't Booker T come out at one point? Or am I thinking, that's the main event. Never mind. Later. Stupid. But even then, a lot of the WCW guys just did not get a fair push. There's a few that may have, Guerrero and Benoit did, Lance Storm to a point, but you had other people, people like Perry Saturn who just didn't fit the mold. And they just
a lot of it, I think, in my opinion, from what I've heard and what I've read, that first year after the acquisition of WCW, a lot of the WCW guys were just under the radar. Like, they weren't, like you said, they weren't given a fair shake during that time. But then other superstars down the road that would make their appearance would have a lot more success throughout the time frame. I think Rey Mysterio is a great example. He waited a few years before he debuted in WWE.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that they were still under contract with WCW, so they could not participate. So they had to wait for the contract to ride out before I think the invasion storyline they did later should have waited. They should have waited.
It should have waited.
You had people like Goldberg, Ric Flair. You had all these big names that could have shown. Well, you could have Bret Hart show back up again. That'd have been fucking funny.
Dude, They could have gotten Sting a lot way earlier than what we got later on. You know what I mean? If they'd have waited and let it cook, let it kind of simmer a little bit, thought process put in maybe a year or two later, and bring everybody that was in the company, all the big names, dude, it could have been phenomenal.
Yeah, agreed.
But I mean, what we got wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was nowhere near as good as it could have been.
I agree. Move on to the street fight. Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon. Shane has a plan. Kurt Angle, oh my God. If you've never seen this match, if you want to watch just one match from this show, this is the one to do it. This is the one where Shane is thrown into a glass panel on the stage and does not go through it. And then he tells Kurt Angle, do it again. And so Kurt, does it, and he goes through the glass. They're in the backstage area. It's a street fight. They can do what they want. I'm condensing this match a big time, but this is pretty much the meat and potatoes right here. He tries to suplex him again through the glass. He does it twice, and he doesn't go through. So what does Kurt Angle do? He fucking grabs him and just throws him through the glass.
Because you'll notice when he actually throws him through it, if you watch from the other angle, when they show the other angle, he's actually punching the glass as he's doing it to make sure that it breaks, so they don't go through that bullshit again.
That first suplex, or on the stage on the outside, when Shane goes through or doesn't go through it, you hear the thud. He hits his head hard. You hear the thud, and it's loud. I'm like, Jesus.
This is the holy crap moment of the night, without a doubt. That one little bit in an otherwise banger of a street fight match. You know what I mean?
Match of the night.
I agree.
100% match of the night. We're condensing this match. There's so many brutal spots in this match, but the match ends when Kurt Angle has a piece of plywood on the top rope. He's got Shane set up, and he fucking does the Angle slam, which used to be the Olympic slam, by the way. They made him change it, but that's fine. But he does the Angle slam from the top rope and barely gets the pin. They had to carry Shane out of and he's trying to stand up, and you'll notice when he started to fall, the camera went right to Jericho that quick.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this match?
Yeah, man, banger all the way around. I mean, Kurt doesn't waste any time going right after Shane after getting screwed just a couple of matches prior. So, he doesn't waste any time going for his ass. And to Shane's credit, he does hold his own throughout the match with certain, little wrestling moves along the way, arm drags and other stuff as well. So he's not going down. This is not the squash fight that we saw previously. This is an actual fight, and he's definitely holding his own. And when you take into consideration that Shane has already beaten some of the best in the company. He beat the Big Show in a last man standing match previous to this. He actually defeated Test at some point. And this is barely coming off, a month and a half or however long it was after his street fight with his old man at fucking WrestleMania. So Shane's done stuff at this point. At one point, I like this. Shane actually jumps over the commentators to hit Angle. He actually jumps over JR at one point. I thought that was a lot of fun. But there are so many good moments. Even after the whole glass thing, I love how Shane gets placed on this one box with wheels on it, which is funny because when we helped set up the ring that one time, I recognized what that box looked like. He puts him on that and literally wheels him down to the ring because he can't carry him. They're both just, completely out of it at this point. I thought that was a lot of fun. Oh, and can we give props to the referee for holding the wood on the corner before the Angle slam to finish the match? Did you catch that?
I did catch that.
It was wobbly as all hell.
You'll notice when he makes the jump off, the wood just fell. Just like, no, it's good. Yeah, this was a match. This is definitely up there.
I even showed the whole him going through the glass. I showed that sequence to my son, and he was like, "Why do they do this to themselves?" I'm like, "It's for the art, son."
It's a legit question, though, and this is back when Shane was, I don't know what he was trying to prove to Vince, but Jesus Christ.
He always wanted to be a wrestler, so he got his freaking wish as far as I'm concerned.
But we move on to the main event. We have Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And
I'm sorry, whose name is that? Who's the champion right now?
Oh, my God. And as it pokes you, that is the ugliest belt I've ever seen.
You can go to hell, sir. This is the most beautiful.
Yuck. I'd rather have the light heavyweight.
Right here.
Show the back. Give it the twirl.
The
The rattlesnake back. Yeah.
Rattlesnake skin.
Nice. Now, the thing about this particular match is that there were rumors that if either Jericho or Benoit won, they were going to take it back to WCW.
Yeah,
they interviewed both Jericho and Benoit, and I don't know what you're talking about. And then when they interviewed Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was like, "Huh?
Like,
really?
What?"
So again, and this match was nowhere near what I wanted it to be. This was towards the end of Stone Cold's career in general. This is like, I think, his last real title push, a little hoorah, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
But in this match, we did get, and I spoiled it earlier, we get the introduction of Booker T, who was at the time the WCW champion. He was the last champion before they defunct the company. And the one thing I want to talk about this match is where'd it go? I have it right here. Yeah. Booker T made his WWF debut and attacked Austin with a scissor kick and a belly to back suplex through the announce table. Benoit would follow by executing a back suplex off the top rope on Jericho, which broke Benoit's neck. Yeah. The aftermath is Benoit did suffer a career-halting neck injury after the triple threat match, and he was out of action for 1 year.
See? That sucks. And that's because Triple H had just injured his quad, not even like a few weeks before this. So, yeah that's pretty damn crazy.
Any thoughts you have on this match?
You know what? It's a great main event. Being a triple threat, I know some argue that triple threats are kind of dilute the whole idea of somebody going after the title. But quite frankly, this is exactly what I want from a triple threat match. You have so many different spots along the way. I mean, both Chris's go after Austin right away. And I love how they kind of team up to beat on him for a while in the ring, out of the ring. It doesn't matter. But just like in any other triple threat, there's always that moment when each one of them finally realizes, oh, crap, we're both fighting for the same thing. Shit. And that's exactly what we get. And we get moments where Austin is fighting Benoit while Jericho's on the outside for a few minutes. And then it swaps out. And then, they change it up. And then now, he's fighting Austin at that point. At one point, you get Benoit and Jericho in the ring while Austin's on the outside. This is everything I want in a triple threat, where you give everybody equal chance to really showcase what they can do. Keeps it interesting, keeps it exciting, it keeps it from being stale. And Booker T coming in to interfere, this was the beginning. As far as I'm concerned, this is the beginning of the invasion right here at the King of the Ring. No doubt about it.
And the fact that Stone Cold went over was even better, because it's like, you don't want your most popular champion to lose to some dude or some rando in the mind of some people, because you got to remember, there's a lot of people that did not watch WCW. They were very devoted to WWE. That's me. I'd switch over every now and again, but at the end of the day, it was like, I'm not switching sides. I'm very, very comfortable in the seat that I'm in right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I'm not going to switch over. But I knew who Booker T was. I wasn't oblivious to it. But for him to interfere in the match, again, triple threat, no disqualification, anything goes. For him to interfere, and yet Stone Cold still wins. Love him or hate him, he always finds a way to win. So,
and that's because this match didn't even have like a grand finish. It was pretty much all three men were laid out on the ground, and Stone Cold rolls over, I believe it was Benoit, to get the 1, 2, 3. It didn't end with like a big stunner or anything like that.
No,
it was
didn't.
Just, okay, everyone's laid out, roll them over, 1, 2, 3, that's it, we're done. It was like over a 20-minute match. So
27 minutes, almost 27
minutes. Yeah, almost a half a freaking hour. And this match never got boring. Not for a second.
No, not even a little bit.
So, man, I miss pay-per-views like this, bro.
Yeah, I do too.
I miss them so much.
I do too.
It makes me sad after it's over. Like, it hasn't been this good in 20 years.
Well, with that being said, we always give a letter grade here at the Zodiac Podcast. Letter grades, we don't grade on a curb. So, Psycho Nerd, what would you rate this pay-per-view? And again, this is before they were PLEs. We will call them pay-per-views.
Yeah, we'll call them pay-per-views. That's what they were. And, there's only one blemish. It's not even that big of a blemish, just that one match with Jeff Hardy and X-Pac, how it just wasn't up to par with everything else.
Agreed.
That is the only thing that brings the score down, and only by a bit. Otherwise, I would have given it a straight A+. But I give it an A, a solid A, about as close as you can get to a plus without being the plus. Because that is, God damn it, I wish we got shows like this nowadays. We just don't.
Okay. There are two things on this card that blemish it for me. It's, of course, that light heavyweight championship, and that whatever you want to call it between Taker and DDP. that again that could have happened on Raw. Didn't need to happen here. Again, this is fantasy booking we're doing here that I'm doing, but that's fine. I give it an A-. Still a great show. Still a great fucking show. If you had made the Jeff Hardy X-Pac match a little bit more meaningful, I might have given a higher grade, and the Taker DDP thing did not need to happen. It could have happened, just not here. It wasn't pay-per-view caliber story.
I didn't get to say this earlier, but the only downside of that, it was fun to watch, don't get me wrong, but in the grand scheme of things, like I said, with the story, I feel like they kind of just killed DDP's momentum at that point.
They really did.
And also, it was fun to watch, but it overstayed its welcome. It went on a little too long, even with Sarah walking around holding the camera and filming it. It's like, okay, guys, we get it. He kicked his ass. Let's move on. Let's go. Come on.
I'm curious if she's the same person that had the camera that saw Val Venus look at the Big Show and go, huh, Big Show, huh? I wonder if that was the same camera. I'm just curious.
I don't know. That's a funny thought.
But yeah, I give it an A-. Again, it was a great show. Just those two little blemishes is what holds it back. So yeah, and again, this is one. It's sad that we have to go back in time. 25 years to get a good pay-per-view. That
almost exactly.
If you did this formula for the current King of the Ring, or even do it on a Saturday's main event, I don't care. Just bring back, give the single matches. I don't need a fatal 4-way. It's stupid. It for me, the fatal 4-ways run too much of a chance of there being interference and cheating. And I know we have that with Dirty Dom already, which is why he won. And he's going up against Obafemi. I am looking forward to Oba wiping the floor with him. Although I think Brock is going to interfere in that match, which sets up SummerSlam, which means it's going to be probably Dom and Finn Balor maybe going on to the finals for the King of the Ring.
Are they still doing the thing where have they implemented the idea that the winner of the King of the Ring gets a title shot, or is that just something that we
100%? They get a title shot at SummerSlam.
Then what if Finn Balor wins and finally gets another shot? Who knows?
The King Demon.
I wouldn't mind having.
Not just the demon, but the King Demon. He has a crown of thorns. I'd be all about that. This WWE, you should be hiring me. Seriously, we have ideas. They're just, they may not be all the great ideas, but hey, we have ideas, and they're way better than what y'all are doing. That being said, this will conclude our review of King of the Ring 2000. Golf clap. Yes, definitely golf clap.
Big clap.
Great show. Psycho Nerd, promote your shit.
Well, not much going on podcast front. I'm mostly just over here doing things with the Real Zodiac Productions podcast-wise. But that's okay. There's still new videos that are coming out. Just recently did my Scary Movie 6 review on top of my new Pete's House episode 2. Be doing a marathon of all the scary movies. Feel free to check it out. It's had like over 20 views now. So
nice.
I'm happy. It got more than the Resident Evil one. That one only got 7 for some reason. So I guess nobody wanted to hear me talk about that franchise.
I guess not.
I guess not. That's because
you got to keep in mind though too is that Scary Movie had a new movie coming out, so of course it'll be hot. That's just the way that is. So.
And yet the Welcome to Raccoon City video is almost up to 800 views now. So
Jesus,
yeah, it's way the hell up there. There's more views on that one video alone than my entire library that I've put out in the past year alone, and that's
very nice.
A little sad, but then comforting at the same time. So
I just got a text from Ellie. I just got a text from Ellie Knight. Yeah. So
I'll take it for what it is.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. 800 views is a lot. I'll take that any day. I wish we could get that,
I know, right?
What it is. And of course, besides DJ Zodiac podcast, the greatest wrestling podcast you've never heard of is also on the same channel, the Real Zodiac Productions with the Real Movie Critics. We had a full week this week with the Real Movie Critics. We had Obsession. We had Master of the Universe, and as of recording, the Scary Movie 6 episode dropped on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's out there. Give it a watch or a listen. You can find both those podcasts on YouTube on the same channel, or split them off on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Again, that's the Zodiac Podcast and the Real Movie Critics. Get those numbers up. We had a bit of a surge in subscribers this past week. No idea why. I'm not going to question it. Just going to be what it is. We're at 73 subscribers right now, which we had 7 in the last week. We want to get up to 100 people. So again, if you love what you're listening to, you want to hear more, not just from the wrestling world, but also from the movies, or you can like both. We don't judge here. We love wrestling. We love movies. Give us that like, subscribe, and that follow. Hit that bell notification. We do new episodes every week unless something is going on. We will probably take July 4th off. that's a holiday, and I don't want to have to record on a holiday. But yeah, I know. It's the 250th anniversary of America. Come on now, it's a big one. 250.
Then you do fucking Independence Day. You watch Independence Day. That's what you do.
See, oh shit, we could totally do that. That is an idea. That being said, for the Psycho Nerd, I am DJ Zodiac. This has been DJ Zodiac Podcast. We've been away for a while, but we are back. But until next time, in the world of Superman, be the Green Lantern, we will see you next time.
Lights go down, the tension's rising high.